Hey, welcome back. Open Pagan Church Talk Show. I hope you're having a good week or have had a good week wherever you're at. Well, okay. Um, Today, of course, is May the 2nd. Depending on where you're at in the world, that's Beltane. You know, for the newcomers that are not quite sure what Beltane is, that's what we're going to be talking about today. Our topic today is Beltane. So we'll start our show right after a word from our sponsor. Hey, folks, just a quick word. I want to thank you for listening in on the Open Pagan Church Talk Show. And we could definitely use your help. Keep the lights on. Information is right there. Also, click on subscribe, click like or dislike, and absolutely tell us why. Now, on with our show. All right, so let's bring in Discord. Hello, Discord. And we got
Morning.
We got 2, 4. Well, we got 4 people. 5 counting me, but who counts me? Hi, how's everybody doing?
Pretty good.
I'm doing good. Doing alright.
Well, we got a newcomer over in Discord. You want to introduce yourself so we know what or how to call you, or do we just call you Chaos?
Josh. Nope,
He forgot that he changed it to push to talk. He's new to Discord, you guys. Come on now, leave the newbie alone.
We've all been there. So, welcome aboard. Are we calling you Chaos or are we calling you Josh? What are we calling you?
For the people that know me personally, Chaos could work, but I mean, I just go by Josh, so it's not gonna hurt my feelings. You can call me Josh, whatever.
Well, you're probably kind of like me. Don't give a damn what you call me as long as you call me in time for dinner.
That sounds about right.
Oh boy, does this boy like to eat.
Yes, ma'am. The only one thing I like better than food, and well, this is a family show, so I can't go there.
Yep. Hey, look at that. There's a Lester.
It's a Lester.
Happy birthday, boy.
Happy birthday, Lester.
Happy birthday to you.
I don't think Lester's got his coffee yet.
No.
Nope.
Lester, you working on your first cup of coffee?
No, I'm working on getting my ass out of bed.
Oh. Hell, I just put my ass in bed. What makes you think I want to get back out of it again?
Well, see,
that's my sister about right.
Yeah, see, when Lester used to live on property, right? And he'd come over in the mornings for coffee and what have you. I'd say, "Good morning, Lester," and I'd get the finger.
Yep.
Lester don't like the word "good morning." Well, huh?
You get the growl.
Well, so, I mean, every year when we talk about Sabbaths and this, that, or the other thing, I always like to poke around on the internet and see what's new, see if anybody has posted any new, unstale information. Well, I just posted a link in the chat, and it's also in the description. Beltain.org. And here in the Americas, there are 2 ways we generally spell Beltane. These folks spell it Beltane. I have it spelled Beltain, which is the way we've always spelled it. And there's another spelling, I can't remember what the hell it is, and I couldn't find it. Go figure. So, yeah, depending on what part of the world you're in will depend on how they spell Beltane. So I figure I'll get a message from somebody going, "You spell Beltane wrong, dumbass." Well, no, I didn't. So yeah, Beltane is the fire festival. It is also the uh, fertile festival, fertility
Woo!
festival. Yep, yep, yep.
Orgy day.
Yeah, well,
Woo!
there is that. Yeah, skyclad rituals and what have you. Great rites. Yeah,
I
You
thought
know,
Bill.
dancing around the maypole with the ribbons and yeah, the
yeah.
whole phallic symbol and everything.
And the maypole. Can't forget the maypole. And I found it absolutely hilarious that mainstream society day still celebrates May Day with the maypole. I've seen a lot of churches that are doing May Day celebrations
Yep, they do.
with pagan symbolism all throughout it. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on the Christian. I just think it's funny that they're out there getting drunk and dancing the maypole and celebrating the fertility rite, and there'll be a bunch of babies born around February.
You know, it's quite funny is that during the Middle Ages, the Christian community used to actually dance the maypole.
I know there's some of them still do.
It
And
was
now,
not it was not looked upon as a pagan ritual.
no, they did the maypole and stuff to celebrate the labor in many countries, communist and social countries. They do it to celebrate workers.
Yep, depending on what part of the globe you're from, depends on what your celebration of May Day is.
Hmm.
So, how do you guys celebrate Beltane, or do you?
Well, that's like tonight. I'm having circle at my house. We already got the pit dug out, bonfires ready to go. If it's not raining.
Right, right, right.
Otherwise, I have it in my living room, and the fireplace was cleaned out by a young man. Thank you very much. And we'll have a fire in the fireplace because you have to have fire during Beltane.
Yeah, there is that. I
The
go ahead.
as a matter of fact, the event for World of Warcraft starts today for Midsummer's Eve. For those of our viewers and listeners that like to play World of Warcraft.
Yeah, Midsummer's Eve is the beginning of Beltane.
Can't hear you.
I try to tend to avoid it as much as possible. It just means I'm getting another damn year older.
Yeah, you're a Beltane baby.
So, do you like to celebrate the fertility festival, Lester?
I'll leave that question unanswered. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. You notice out of all the years you've known me, I have never asked that question in person, right?
Right.
Right? I'm crazy. I ain't stupid.
Okay, John, I got one for you.
Come on.
So it's Scots or the Gaelic. When did they start Beltane?
Well, it also depends on what society you look at as far as the Gaelic. There were the Gauls that came over from.
No, what I mean is when did they start the fires? Put it that way.
Oh shit! I don't remember the. I've never actually found any documentation as to when the Beltane actually started. It.
Night before.
I'm sorry.
By the size what you put up, it's the night before.
Right.
The eve
Oh, she's
before
talking about the actual starting of the Beltane fire.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, that was Beltane Eve. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought you were asking when Beltane started. See, that's what I was hoping somebody could look up and find. I've not been able to find
Yeah.
anything on it.
The
You
year
know, I don't
9.
think you're gonna find anything like that.
I did.
Well, come on.
Did you? I mean, well, probably generalization, but
What'd you find?
Hang on, I'll put it.
And of course, I got a memory like Swiss cheese, so there you go.
Little black car.
Probably grocery.
Oh.
Your turtle. Figure out what-
So those that may be watching our live broadcast on maybe filtering it through Facebook or whatever. Feel free if you're watching the pre-recorded broadcast in the description. Of course, after you click like and subscribe, you know what I'm saying on that. Put in there what your group or tradition does for your Beltane rituals.
Run around in circles.
Run around in circles.
Well, when I first joined my first circle, my
Sab got in. Sab got blew off the line by the puppy dogs. Hello.
I'm sorry, my phone's being stupid. Anyway, when I joined my first circle, we did fire pit out back, and those of us that had started on our journey were jumping the fire as an initiation process.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it's also a way to
Oh, carry on.
stupid phone. Oh my god.
Gotta love technology.
I'm just gonna put my thing. Okay, can y'all hear me now?
Yep, we hear you.
Okay. I had to put myself on voice activity because it's being stupid. I have my headset plugged in. My button doesn't want to work. Anyway, jump in the fire for us when we were starting our first journey, or when we were first starting our journey. Jump in the fire was a way of purification and a ushering in of new energies. So, I mean, we did it every year.
Yeah, we the shamans did the same thing. I mean, I don't care to remember how many years. I loved to dance the fire in my kilt.
Yeah, it's been requested that I wear a dress for this one. So,
Well, if it's not raining and you guys decide to have a fire outside, you might want to make sure that you're not wearing a very flammable dress.
well, I know that. I mean, I have a way because I don't wear skirts that don't come down to my ankles. I don't wear dresses that don't come down to my ankles. But I can use my the tail of my dress to tie my dress together between my legs before I jump so I don't catch on fire.
Yep, seen that several times. Yep, yep.
Yeah, it's gonna suck if I catch this dress on fire.
You know, talking about that, we had can't remember who it was. We had a lady that used to come to Circle down south all the time, and she had built this little thing. I don't know what the hell it was made out of, but before she would dance or jump the fire, she would reach down between her legs and grab a part of her dress that looked like a necklace, and she would bring it up and hang it over her head, and it looked like her dress turned into culottes.
Yeah, the winemakers in Italy actually do that too. Because it's when they have the wine festivals and
Right,
stuff in Italy, they get these big vats and they put all
all
the
the
grapes
grapes.
in there, and you get
Yep,
in there and stomp on them grapes and make wine. It's great.
yep, yep, yep.
I've always wanted to go do one of those.
Yeah, people with toe fetishes quite enjoy the after dance for. Anyway, I went there.
Yeah, licking all that fresh squeezed grape juice off their feet. Yeah,
Oh
you
no,
can
here we
keep
go.
that one.
Here we go. So yeah, back on Beltane. So
So I have found some information that I would
yeah,
like to share.
great.
Okay, so what it is
Whoop.
Yeah,
okay.
see, our internet's acting up over here at the house.
Anyway, okay, so I found that in the 19th century, they used to drive the cattle between the fires, but it was in the 19th century, so almost 1,000 years before that, it's been practiced. So we know that throughout history, that Beltane is legit and part of culture that some may or may not be willing to view in a proper, respectable opinion.
Right. And you know, here's one of the things that we always talk about during our Sabbath broadcast, like Yule, Samhain, Beltane, Litha, all of them. Um, all of these Sabbaths have been celebrated by one society or the other that follows the seasonal sun. Um, you have your Sabbath, you have your equinoxes, and you know what I'm saying. Um, some some traditions have high Sabbaths and low Sabbaths. There's 8 for most. So I mean, yeah, they all of these Sabbaths have been practiced for societies dating back to the beginning of spirituality. Now, as far as one of the things I like to hear and I like to get posted on our chats is, you know, how people in different traditions celebrate Beltane. Because it's definitely, not about the way the shamans do it or the witches or the druids or anybody else, fae, whatever. Um, it's the whole situation for Open Pagan Church Talk Show is to give the new people coming into the pagan philosophy some kind of foundation to stand on. That's why we're always open to interview hierarchy of other paths. Wicca, witchcraft, druid, fae, whatever. Okay, Clint says he found another spelling. Oh, okay, that's the Gaelic. That's the Gaelic for Beltane. I cannot even begin to pronounce that.
Me neither.
Beltane? No, I can't even make that out. But yeah, so you know, um, Clint, what do y'all usually do for Beltane? Anything?
Usually we get together, everybody over at Cindy's or my house, but right now, with things going on, not much can be done. Eventually, I'll be able to start celebrating again.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
No worries.
Okay, Beltane was done at the 4th century.
They're past that.
Oh, you passed that already? Sorry.
You're all right. Um, Josh was showing, what he had found, and it's like we were saying, populations since the beginning of spiritualism or human beings have practiced Beltane in one form or another, depending on, again, where you're at in accordance to the equator. It's like Yule. Yule generally runs from the 20th all the way up to the 25th. For us, it's the 21st or 22nd. Again, depending on what tradition you are. But you know, the shortest, it's an equinox, so the shortest day of the year is generally December 20th, December 21st. So, but on, you know, Beltane, the beginning, the quote beginning of summer, um, amazingly, right now, here in north central Texas, it is 60 degrees out there. We usually got high 80s and low 90s by this time of the year. What's the temperature down where y'all are?
Wet.
Wet.
We are at 73.
Well, you know, looking out my office window for the first time in 3 days, the sun's out.
Lucky you.
Lucky me.
It's coming.
Man, my yard is so bad. I need to mow it so bad, but I wouldn't even be able to get the mower out of the shed. It would get stuck.
It's 75 where we are.
Yep, yep.
And these winds keep up. I'm not having a bonfire outside. They're 20-mile-an-hour winds.
Aw, come on.
I was really looking forward to that too.
Yeah, what's a little wind, Cindy? Come on.
Not here.
That backyard is a little squishy. It's gonna be a little nasty.
Oh
no,
yeah.
it's not. No.
Not that. It's we got a lot of dead grass around, and I don't need things
And it's
blowing
just-
around.
We're talking about this. We're
yeah,
talking about what-
that would be
yeah,
bad.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the many things I miss about property is that circle. We kept it cleaned out, and on Beltane, we'd sometimes have a 10-foot fire. Of
Well,
course.
Josh has swept around. There's no dead leaves and everything, so it might have.
Yeah, you still, you know, now here's one of the biggest things people do need to remember if you're going to have a Beltane fire. Keep it safe. I mean, don't get stupid.
Anyway.
There's a link I just shared about something new I just found about it.
Where? You
Over
putting it
in,
in the YouTube chat?
Found the other spelling for Beltane by Gaelic.
Clint already posted that in the YouTube chat. If y'all find any other spellings for Beltane or good information, feel free to post the links in the chat because that's the way people learn. Don't post it in Discord, post it in the YouTube chat.
Hey Cindy.
Yeah.
Hey, have you shared the experience that I had?
Remember, family show. Family show.
You guys...
No. What happened?
No.
Hang on, let Josh tell it.
Come on.
I will. Tell your story.
Okay, so as some of y'all know, I do the maintenance part of it outside and stuff, and just do this, that, and the other. And so my responsibility here for the last few days has been, you know, upkeep outside and taking care of the yard and making it look nice, getting ready for Beltane and whatnot.
At my house.
And right, and taking down the bamboo in particular. And after that was done, while I was standing there, I started to pick up pieces, and I had this feeling, and it came over me, and I stopped. And I come to realize, once I realized what was going on, the energy that was involved in this yard, that this yard was speaking to me. And so this is like one of the most, not really surprising things, but it just caught me off guard. So I listened, and what I heard, this yard asked me to step in the middle of the circle, not like in the fire pit, obviously, but next to it.
Right.
You know, so she told me she said, step forward. And it was like I could literally like hear this voice. I mean, it was so clear. And I walked and walked, and she said, stop. She said, bend down. So I got down on one knee, and it's like it just came to me. And I ended up saying a pledge to the circle, saying that I would care for it and I would keep up with it and I would treat it as my own. And I would respect it and love it as I would want it to be done to me. So that was like a big issue, a big surprise for me that kind of made me feel, good, but kind of confused because I mean, I know it's an important task to be able to keep up with something like that, and it kind of feels like, I don't know, maybe there's more there that I need to look into, and I just kind of need to be patient with it at the same time. So
Well,
that's it.
you mind if I put my 2 cents in?
Go for it.
There are times, especially when you are what we call preparing for writ, or the 10 days of writ, if you will. And generally, what we used to do on the 10 days of writ, someone or a couple of someones would start preparing circle, kind of like you did. And it would be not unusual for one of the Patreon goddesses or gods that that people follow, even before they know they follow them. You know what I mean? To go, okay, we're going to do it this way. And the first couple of times they hear it, they're kind of like, where the hell did that come from? But, our biggest motto is listen to the voices in your head unless they're telling you to hurt yourself or someone else. Now, if they're telling you to hurt yourself or someone else, maybe you need to talk to somebody. But, spirit guides, gods, goddesses, whatever you want to call them, they tend to come across in very amazing ways. And I mean, what better way to hear from the goddess rather than getting ready for her Sabbath, Beltain? She's getting fertile.
I'm gonna purple spirit.
Say what? Sorry.
Nothing.
Nothing.
We're doing something. I got some tall candles to use.
Oh, got it. All right.
They're white.
So I mean, yeah, Josh, dude, man, always my recommendation, stuff like that is follow it. See where it leads you.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting path, that's for sure.
Yep. And one of the things that we've always done in this talk show is we try to keep it universal. We don't involve other, the actual denominations of paganism, if you will. And, of course, if somebody is from another path or a tradition, they're always welcome to speak. But the interesting thing about being pagan or not being pagan, you can answer the question whether or not you're pagan in 10 seconds. Do you believe in multiple gods and or goddesses? Boom, bang, full stop, that's it. If you do, you're pagan. If you don't, you're not. Anything past that, you get into the whole path thing, and more over the last 10 years, I'd say about over the last 10 years especially, people are getting away from paths. They're getting away from traditions and paths and particular disciplines within particular paths, and they're just perfectly happy just being pagan. And I mean, that's fine. Not like anybody needs my permission, but my thought process is, that's great for some people.
I have about
Whoop, you broke up.
I got about 5 cents to add in if you can.
Come on with it. Bring a quarter.
Okay, so for me, I grew up in a Christian family. It's usually non-denominational. It's been non-denominational for my whole life, but I have always had these very odd experiences throughout my whole life. And for those of you who don't know, I've been in and out of the penitentiary my entire life. Even as a teenager, it was a rough childhood, but I'm better now. So, anyway, I was kind of raised to believe a certain thing and didn't get to experience anything until later on. And I'm just now starting to understand that there's more to just, one book. There's so many other things that are out there that have historical meaning, just like something else that's true, that's been around for what seems like history is saying it's been around way longer. So I mean, for me personally, I have a very open mind, and I know that there's other things out there. So that's the main reason why I am exploring this particular issue that's being discussed, and just paganism in general, because I mean, I guess it's one of those sayings me and my dad used to say, when you know, you know. And
Right.
so I just know that I know that there's something else out there. I mean, I've been through too much crap to know any better. So
I kind of resemble that remark. I mean, and you were talking about your past. I think everyone, well, of course, everyone has a past. And, of course, for myself, I'm actually amazed I lived through my teenage and 20s and 30s. I lived through it to sit here and talk about it, But one thing. It's one thing to keep making the same repetitive mistakes over and over and over again. And it's a total other thing to learn from those mistakes and say, hey, I paid my price. I paid my dues. I stuck my hand in that fire and it hurt like a son of a bitch, but it's time to move on. And, people like yourself that have been through that, and you're stepping out of it, you're stepping forward and you're moving forward and trying to find out who and what you are. Dude, you couldn't ask for more than that. Somebody home.
Sorry. I'm shifting and I still have my voice activity on, so that way I don't have to freaking push the button.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. But
Okay.
I mean, Josh, as you're going through and you're learning different things, one of the biggest things we recommend is no one person has all the right answers. Which
I completely agree.
Again, is part of the reason for this talk show, and the fact that we keep the Open Pagan Church Discord voice chat open. So I mean, I don't think I'd be able to keep up with 10 or 15 people, but people want to come in, they have something to say, as long as it's respectful, of course. Have at it, by all means. If somebody wants to be interviewed for a topic, they'll reach out, talk to me. But I think if, like say, if my 2 cents matters, Josh, I think you're going about it the right way. You just one step at a time and go with it from there.
Yeah, when I started my path with Don and them and found the right one, open heart, open mind, open ears, but always have a little grain of salt, question why, but always listen.
It took a hurricane to get Clint to come see us. Didn't it, Clint?
Literally.
We have this saying in our family, sometimes everybody needs a hurricane.
Nobody needs a hurricane, but
Well, you know what
Sometimes they get forced to deal with the hurricanes.
right, the life changes that come with it. I mean, like us, we got blown up here by Hurricane Ike, and it's really good we did because my parents really, really needed our help then, and more especially now, of course. So every once in a while, we all have to. Well, I won't say need, but every once in a while, we all have to experience our own hurricanes. And for me, Beltane, Beltane is one of the best times to celebrate that because new growth, new ideas, changes, growing into different paths, different ideas. So yeah, I mean, when people come in and sit and they chat, the one thing that has always bothered me, and it's not a religious thing, it's a human thing. One of our topics a couple of weeks ago was, why is, you know, I forgot the damn word, my brain sketched. Somebody help me. Why is something even a thing? Why is racism? That's it. Hell, I'm floundering. We did a topic on why is racism even a thing. It's a human thing. Human beings don't like change for the most part.
Facts.
They want to get up every day and they want to do what they know is comfortable to them. They want to go someplace that they know is going to be comfortable to them. They want to do what they need to do at this someplace, and then they want to go home. And they want to do what's comfortable to them at home, comfortable with them at home. Anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. But when you start talking about things like Belting, Samhain, Yule, yeah, we like different things. I mean, granted, it's been a long time since I've actually been to a proper circle, and I miss it. But we always did circle a little differently. We very seldom ever did the same exact thing twice. Feast was done, of course. Pre-writ was always done, where you sit down and you talk about what you're going to do during ritual, and because anytime you're running an open circle, you may have 30 people of 30 different paths, and most of them don't know what's expected of them. That's the reason we always did a pre-writ, a pre-ritual during feast. Whoever was calling ritual while everybody's eating, they would say, okay, pre-ritual discussion, and the person leading the circle would explain what's going to happen, what it's for, what it's about, and the expectations. We had some people call a circle that didn't do a march. And if you don't know what a march is, it's where we very quietly travel 3 times clockwise around the outer portion of the circle to set the energies, to center ourselves, to hope for peace and tranquility and calm. But we did the march. Were a couple of practitioners at Call Circle that didn't. Their idea was they wanted everybody challenged at the gate. When someone was challenged at the gate and they were seen worthy to enter, they entered straight into the circle, straight to their chair. Some people sit down, some people stood up. So you can see the whole variable of differences there when you're talking about different rituals for different Sabbaths. What do you think? What else has everybody got? Anything else they found they want to talk about? Offer up? I'm not used to
That's
everybody being this
interesting.
quiet. Say what?
That's during Beltane times over in Ireland, the older generation, the older generation, used to go to holy wells, the fairy wells,
Okay, yeah.
and that's where they get the first drawn water for Beltane. In the morning time. Oh, sorry, my son.
Popular today, are we?
Yes,
Ah, well. Cindy,
regular,
welcome
I have a
to
question.
welcome to Writ Day. Josh, what were you going to say, bud?
regular.
The question about, is there a specific reason why you have to walk clockwise instead of counterclockwise?
Well, that's a good question, sir. And depending on who you talk to, will depend on what answer you get. So if you don't mind, I'm going to answer that from the experience of a shaman.
I can accept that.
In shaman, clockwise to us is forward movement.
Okay.
When we are walking clockwise, we're going with the natural flow of time. Time never runs backwards. Time is what it is. It is forever marching forward. So for us to walk a circle backwards is to go against time. Now again, that's a shaman point of view. I know that the Alexandrian tradition, the only reason I know this is because one of the third degree Alexandrian ladies were very good friends of mine for many years, and they go clockwise to cast up, and they go counterclockwise to cast down.
Yep.
Right, and
Oh, that's interesting.
from a witch point of view, to walk clockwise is to bring in good energy. To walk Widdershin or counterclockwise is to send out negative energy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep, yep. And one of the
Because it's all about balance, right?
yes, yes, and depending on your craft, depends on how you find your balance. Like for example, when as shaman, when we would cast up circle, everything was done clockwise. The march was clockwise, the cast was clockwise. And this is the one thing that we really had to explain to people. Shamans don't actually cast down circle.
Nope. I do not.
They call it up.
We don't leave it, right? Okay, I mean we leave the candles burning, we don't put out the candles. We leave the torches burning. We don't put out the we don't disrespect the flame by putting it out. But what we would do is stand at the north altar, which for us was north and spirit, not the same, but north and spirit, and we would thank the deities for being there. Of course, we would be like, go if you must, stay if you will. Thank you for attending, so mote it be. And then we would announce the circle is now open. And there would be an awful lot of other traditions standing there going, they didn't cast down circle. Why didn't they cast down circle? We did, in our way. And if the witches were casting up or casting down circle and shamans were standing in it, we understood that's just the way things are. Different people do it different ways. Debbie also says, yeah, usually held each year, but not currently doing during the pandemic, right? The Beltain Fire Festival in Edinburgh. That is one place I would absolutely love to attend on one of these Beltains, is go to that Edinburgh Fire Festival. That would just absolutely, yeah, that's on my bucket list.
Drums. Drums.
Drum.
Drum.
Lots of drum.
Yeah.
Bagpipes. Can't forget the bagpipes.
I found that last year, I think, and we saw YouTube it. They YouTubed it, and I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, when you're, and you know, actually, Josh, you just came up with the absolute perfect topic for next week.
Cool.
I think the wording of it should be how different how different traditions call up and call down circle. Do they even call circle? Example, the Fae do not call circle. They call the earth. Which the first Fae writ I ever stood in kind of gave me heartburn, but okay, that's fine, you know. I agreed to stand in it. I'm not going to disrespect anybody's circle, heartburn or no. But what do y'all think? Next week, let's talk about different traditions and different ways of calling up and calling down circle.
I'm curious on the different paths that are available and how to be able to like know which, like, I don't know, like category, I guess, if you know what I'm trying to say. Like, how do you know which one you should be interested in or follow, and if somebody, an individual should like pray specifically or do something special?
Well,
Can
we
I answer
can.
that one?
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, absolutely.
All right. To answer your question, Josh, feel your heart and feel your soul. Don't think about it. When the right path finds you, you'll know. Like with me, I've tried many different religions and stuff. Nothing ever felt right. The hurricane blew me up there to property, and I found my shaman path. And when I felt it, I knew.
Yeah, and it's, like Clint said, it's one of those situations where the more you run from it, the worse you feel, type thing. Like, take Wicca for example. There's quite a few different traditions of Wicca, and not all witches are Wiccan. And I've heard tell nowadays that not all Wiccans are witches.
Well, a little information about my baby mama was actually a Satanist, and I wasn't even aware until the baby was born. So it's kind of ironic, but I love my kid to death. But it's just crazy because you never know what people out there study, and
Right.
she's, she kind of got me interested in it, and I never knew that there was more about, you know what I mean? I mean, me personally, I'm not interested in
Right.
that either Luciferianism or Satanism, but it's just interesting. I find it really interesting because there's a lot of energy and a lot of personal things that are involved with it,
Right. You want me to tell you something funny about Luciferianism and Satanism and devil worship? They're three different things.
Oh, definitely, go for it.
Not a single one of them are pagan.
Right. They're Christian based.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's almost like technically it's like the Bible's adversary. I mean, it's the ultimate bad guy,
Yep.
Yep.
It's anti-Christian.
Yeah.
What it's
exactly, yeah.
And the thing I always found interesting is people get so upset about the inverted pentagram. Well, with a little bit of study, the inverted pentagram was one of the symbols of the Knights Templar. It was also one of the original symbols of the Christianic philosophy.
That's what happens when people don't do their research. They just want to go by what they've been taught because it's easier than change.
Man, you gotta believe what you see on TV. Orb. Yep. If Practical Magic was a beautiful movie. I didn't see anything in it that had anything to do with paganism, per se, but the Blair Witch Project was a joke.
Oh, that was
It was a
complete
joke,
crap. That was
period.
stupid.
Say again?
It was a joke, period.
Yeah, but I mean, the biggest thing is for newcomers into the pagan philosophy, do like Josh is doing. Ask questions. Hell, post your questions in the chat. If you're not comfortable doing it in live chat, after we're done and I click, done in stream, hell, post your questions in the chat. Give me or give one of us 24 hours to answer you, because I'm a little old in my slow age. But yeah, so let's next week talk about some of the different paths and the way circle is cast. We can put all of that, I think, in one topic. We may go a little over the hour, but not like we've ever done that before.
I
Well,
dibs
I'll be here.
Gardnerian.
Huh?
I dibs Gardnerian.
Do you still feel you're qualified to speak for the Gardnerians?
If we don't have one here, yes, sir.
I thought that was Alexandrian.
Alexander, excuse me.
Ha 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 ha!
Well, she blended it, dear.
I know. But in her exact words were, she is a third-degree Alexandrian, taught by one of the descendants of
Alexander.
yeah. Can't remember his damn.
For compare and contrast purposes, I would be willing to halfway advocate for the Christian side of it, or the halfway Christian side of it, with the open mind. That since my dad is a what do you call it? He's a he's a bishop. There you go.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, in a church. So.
Now wait, bishop, is that Jewish or is it Catholic?
No, it's not Catholic. No. No, it's not bishop. No, I'm thinking of something else. Hold on, let me think. I'm trying to think of the word.
Now our resident Catholic is Lester.
Yes, a deacon. A deacon. Yes, he's a deacon.
He's not Catholic. He's a deacon.
Would that be?
He's a deacon in a church. Yeah, he's a non-denominational.
Is he in the Universal Unitarian or is he Baptist?
Well, he was raised Baptist, but right now he's like, for the last about 10, 15 years, he's been non-denominational. He just believes in Father, Son, Holy
Spirit. Right. It kind of like what we would call a base pagan, right? Base pagans believe in multiple gods and or goddesses. That's what makes you pagan. What makes you base Christian is you believe in one God, male, one Jesus, the Savior. I don't ever really say Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, because if you look up the meanings of those, that resembles paganism in and of itself. So,
the Holy Trinity is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Right.
Not the Holy Ghost, Holy Spirit.
Right. Unless you're Baptist, and then it's the Holy Ghost.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, there's different meanings, and they like to break it down because they're using them in different situations in different parts of the Bible for specific purposes to justify what the situation was used for.
Right.
And that's how they justify their law, because there's always something to back it up somewhere. And that's the unfortunate thing with that, is that there's so much history and so much paperwork and scrolls that are still missing, that it's crazy. It's absolutely. There's a book actually. Let me see if
there's a book for everything in Christianity.
Exactly. And that's why it's interesting to break down, because if you compare it to paganism, where did they get the idea?
Paganism.
I mean, exactly. It's been around for thousands and thousands of years longer. I mean, you can't justify that a religion is more important just because it came afterwards and it's supposed to mean more and there's more justifications and there's more prophecies that are being fulfilled. I mean, okay, if I believe that the majority of them are true because of my faith, but I have an open mind, and that's not the only thing I believe in. So you can call me a neo-Christian, I guess, because I know better and I've experienced things magical and very spiritual, and so I'm not ignorant and I refuse to be. So
Right.
I think it would be a very interesting subject.
Well, okay then. Topic for next week is set. The different paths and belief systems of the world. How about that? And this is going to require a lot of research on you guys' part, because I promise you, Lester's going to come armed to the hilt.
Maybe, maybe not.
Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, bullshit, Lester. You have never turned down a challenge when it comes to books and education.
The bullshit
Maybe
meter
that's
went
right.
maxed. Said the bullshit meter went maxed when he said maybe, maybe not.
You see, Josh, Lester has always been our librarian, our scholar.
Archivist.
Yes.
Archivist.
That man can digest a book faster than I can talk, and that's saying something. So, hey, welcome aboard. You're in good company. But one of the things that, and I'm going to kind of start winding down with this. I know everybody's got things to do for Beltain. If we think about how to remember and maintain open-mindedness, no matter what religion you follow, Beltain is going to happen whether or not you believe in it. I mean, Beltain, just like Yule, is a natural progression of Mother Earth. Just like all the other Sabbaths that pagans follow, we follow the natural progression of Mother Earth. So, when you're working on things and you're looking at things for what they are, keep in mind, it's not my way or your way. It's the way that is comfortable for you. So, anybody else have anything else they want to offer up?
Yep.
Well, that was another country heard from. Leave it to the Draconics to come up with some psychobabble. Yep. Josh, I'm really glad you joined us. And
I'm glad I came. I enjoyed it.
That's good. That's good. All you folk that are watching right now or will be watching our pre-recorded broadcast on our archive channels, post, like, dislike, subscribe. Hey, if you don't like us, tell us why. I'm okay with constructive criticism. If you don't like me because I'm ugly, hell, I don't care. I ain't practicing being... Huh?
I'm sorry. I was going to say, and you must always remember, no matter where you go, there you are.
No matter where you go, there you are. Truer words could not be spoken. Well, folks, I'll tell you what. We will catch you next time right here on the Open Pagan Church Talk Show. You hear? Have a great day.